basically Champions is going to be the 2026 VGC format. That's like where the competitive will take place. But there's two possibilities. Generation 10, this is like your Scarlet and Violet, your Sword and Shield, right? Sun and Moon. That Gen 10 game could be exactly what it's always been before when it comes to competition and the actual battle system. That's what we're talking about. Or it could be a complete change up of the battle system. And truthfully,
and this is what I'm
playing devil's advocate, but I'm with you, AJ. I am with you, AJ. I think that is kind of what's going to happen. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate, but
then
that would mean Champions is what's going to happen forever.
Right. And I'll also say that I think when people hear me say stuff like that, they immediately think that like the only way to do it is like, oh, it goes from turn-based to like action, and that's the only way to change it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Ideally, yeah, that's how I feel. But I don't think like when I say that, it's not like when I say that in a video and I'm like, this needs to change for the community, for gaming, period, for the franchise. Yeah. I don't mean like it has to materialize in the way that would be perfect to me. I just
you're just describing a
that for
scenario.
Everybody,
example
for everybody, but the hardest core of Pokemon fans, it would be preferable for Pokemon to evolve in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And whether that means that it is a turn-based game still, but it has like an Expedition 33 kind of evolution, or it has a Legends EA kind of Ni no Kuni, Xenoblade Chronicles kind of play style. Either way, it needs to change, and it needs to be something that for various reasons is just more fun to actively play. And I think that the way that a lot of hardcore Pokemon fans are talking about it is like talking about it within their understanding of what an esport looks like. That's the main esport to them, right? And they're like, well, how is this going to be marketable as VGC? But if you look at esports as a vertical in the sphere of not just gaming but entertainment, the esports that do the best are the ones that people can look at and they understand what's happening and they understand how it's happening. It's League of Legends. It's not like, oh, well, kids know how to play Pokemon, you know, like it's just going and scrolling through menus and stuff like that.
Can you give me some examples of esports? Because I was not even thinking about League of Legends.
So like the biggest esports, I would say, are like League of Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty for a time, Halo.
Those count?
Yeah. That's like what built the vertical.
Call of Duty counts?
Yeah, Call of Duty is an esport. Absolutely, yeah.
Damn, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, and even like Smash Brothers is an esport, you know?
Okay. So it really can be any sort of competition.
Yeah, it's just any game, because at the end of the day, it's like an esport is whatever the community on like secondarily, but like as far as like the major ones that a game studio says like this is a competitive game that has competitive merit, and they build an ecosystem around that. I'm just in the background. I want to pull up like factually the biggest esports. Just
sure. No. I was curious about it. You know, it's funny that like you're talking about how like in your community, the Nintendo space, everyone's saying you're like out of your mind, because I'm kind of saying the opposite in my Pokemon space, and everyone's calling and saying I'm out of my mind.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like I was saying, Champions was not going to be about VGC because I thought Pokemon doesn't care about the VGC community is like literally the smallest percentage of a Pokemon niche.
Yes.
Like there's such a small amount of players.
So we're not saying the opposite. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
No, yeah. So originally my idea was Champions is not going to be for VGC. Obviously I was wrong. But now I've like, anyways, I think it's funny that like in the context of you having a foot in the Pokemon space and understanding what would make Pokemon good in the Nintendo space, people are like, what are you talking about?
And to be clear,
I'm saying the opposite, but it's like flagrant for my space.
To be clear, we're getting pushback from the same people. Like the Nintendo community is not telling me I'm crazy. The Nintendo community is like, yes. That's why you'll see people. You'll see people like Will Wolf be like, I only will consider a Pokemon game good once AJ tells me it's good, because my vision for Pokemon games aligns with gamers more than.
Did you tell him that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were good?
Absolutely not.
Because he loves that.
I did not.
He loves that.
Yeah. But I can see why. But yeah, that's what it is. It's like like once I put my stamp on it, like, yep, this is the one. Come back in, everybody. You know, like that's why. It's because how I feel about the game is like not defined by the fact that I'm a fan of the gameplay of Pokemon. It's just that I care about the world, and he knows that I also care about game design and knows what a good game looks and feels like. But
which I gotta be honest with you, no one in the Pokemon space knows or cares about
they
that.
Don't, because they don't play games. They don't. They play Pokemon and that's it.
And that was because I'm coming from that. Just to be clear, I'm coming from that same background where I don't play that many games. Like I will play games. I play games, but like I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh, that Yu-Gi-Oh game where you can play all the classic duels, right, with all the classic decks.
Yeah,
like,
Legacy of the
that's
Duelists.
super
We talked
fun.
about this.
Yeah, exactly. So much fun. You know, AJ, you said something recently. I think it was on stream with Jake when we were talking about like what we wanted. It was like this topic. Yeah, and you guys were like, no, Pokemon games shouldn't. You guys were like, I don't want to be sweating after every single Pokemon battle, and that was in reference to like the idea of every Pokemon battle being like
Pokken, like a fighting game.
Yeah, like Pokemon tournament. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And I had never thought of it like that because as someone who doesn't play those fighting games, I don't know that they're literally like you're on your toes, the seat, like the edge of your seat. Yeah. For those 5 minutes that you're battling. That's not how it looks to me. To me, it's just like, oh, things are running around on the screen.
I think a lot of Pokemon fans do. Like, I think that's how, like, they look at that and they're like, I would be stressed after something like that. And that's what it is. Like, there's no in between. It's like even though it's a delta between something like Pokken Tournament or a more traditional fighting game, you know, and Pokemon Legends ZA even, they don't see it like that. They're like, this isn't turn-based, so this is that. It might as well be Elden Ring because it's not turn-based anymore, you know? Yeah. And there was even that tweet that popped off that I don't believe, as somebody that has talked to Nintendo reps plenty of times in my lifetime. But they were like, somebody was like asking the person, allegedly, again, according to the tweet, like how they felt about the demo. And they were like, have you ever played a game that's similar to this? And then they said, no. And then allegedly the Nintendo rep said, have you ever played Elden Ring? It's kind of like that. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that for multiple reasons. But that's definitely not true. You know, that's crazy. It's insane. Yeah. Like if I were to compare it to anything just based off of what I've seen, I would compare it to like Ni no Kuni. But like Elden Ring is ridiculous. Like, and I'm sure that comparison will happen a lot with Pokemon fans because they don't play anything and they know that it will be physically more difficult to play than scrolling through a menu and saying that one, you know? So like,
but I also have faith that these games won't be like truly difficult to play. I think there's going to be a learning curve, like and dude, that's another thing, right? It's another symptom of like people who don't play anything other than Pokemon. Again, nothing wrong with this, but like if you don't play any other, like every Pokemon game plays the same, and there's also no requirement of reaction time. Right. So with any new game that I pick up, you have to learn the controls. It's it's a game. Yeah. It's like picking up a board game and you're like, what are the rules? Let's spend a half hour arguing over what the rules are. So like that's just part of the experience of a new game. So I think that's something that I think Pokemon fans take for granted. And then like, listen, I'm not trying to turn this into like a let's complain about my people type of thing, but yeah. But anyways, yeah. So to set this up, I guess. So I'm looking at during Worlds last night.
Yeah. At the time of recording,
they announced a new trailer for Legends ZA, and this is cool and this is relevant. And they showed off a co-op mode, like an online.
So it's not co-op mode. So it's not co-op.
Or co-op's the wrong word.
What we know so far. It's more of
it's not co-op.
It's like a battle royale,
but it's online.
Yeah. It's an online multiplayer battle royale competition thing.
Thank you. And no, I appreciate that because The correction, because I'm not. I only play Pokemon games.
Yeah, so it
I
almost
often
gives
use the wrong word.
it gives me vibes of like a PvE like battle royale game, because like the ultimate goal is to like defeat the most Pokemon, and you're one of the like something that will count towards that number is you beating other humans. Like there's like this discourse online of like, well, you're not really playing together. It's like, no, you are. Like it's just like doing a like, if you remember in Sun and Moon, and I'm literally on this part of the game right now, it's like doing a battle royale. Like that's what it is. It's like I don't want you to win, so I'm gonna knock you out so you can't knock them out, and then I'll knock them out. You know, like that's what it is. It's like doing a death match in a shooting game.
Yeah. And I guess what I was thinking about is like, so yeah, the new ZA trailer comes out. They show off, not co-op, but like basically you can fight against your friends, right? And that feels relevant because then right after this, then they announced, hey, the classic, turn-based Pokemon battles that you love are going to be hosted on Champions in 2026. And then that's
another important wrinkle to that is they also said that Mega Dragonite is being added to the game.
Yes,
and
that is pretty cool.
I think the fact that they highlighted that in that way, what it says to me is that going forward, and hey, maybe this is a crazy prediction, going forward, there will be similar situations where it's like, hey, new game, and like for Gen 10, the battle system is different in these ways or whatever, right? And don't worry, you'll still be able to use them the old school way. We're adding the Gen 10 Pokedex to Champions, and the VGC tournament that'll be in Champions. But here's the other part of this prediction that I think is bigger or whatever. There's a lot of people, and even like I watched a little bit of I think this was just in the stream, but it might have been part of a podcast or something. I don't know. But I heard Lumi saying that he thinks that like maybe something like what is it? ZA would be like a side event kind of thing. And I think in reality, VGC will end up being the side event. And maybe, and that's like, I said that in your chat where it's like, I think that like Champions is like in their head even, maybe a third pillar, like what Nintendo said. I don't, because I know you're like a more of a Pokemon guy than you are a Nintendo guy, so I don't know if if you fully understood this reference. But when the Nintendo DS was coming out, Nintendo so Satoru Iwata was like, the Nintendo DS is a third pillar, and that was their way of saying like, don't worry, Game Boy, we know that's a big business and that's always successful and stuff like that. We're trying this new thing. It has the capacity to fail. But even if it does fail, it doesn't matter because we still have Game Boy Advance. I think that's how they'll position whatever the new battle system is. And
I totally agree because, I totally agree because like they do that constantly. Like 5 years ago, the numbers might be wrong, Pokemon Go wasn't at Worlds. There wasn't a competitive bracket for Pokemon Go. Pokemon Unite wasn't there. And both these games are at Worlds now. People compete in order to, win money. They're on
They become Pokemon World Champions. They literally get all the same
just like
perks.
Anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm expecting next year, and they didn't announce this, and they could announce this, Pokemon TCG Pocket could be introduced. They could create a new bracket. And that becomes like a world championship tournament. And they could also, what you're saying, just like they did the last 5 years, introduce that Generation 10, that whatever that new battle system would be.
If it is.
They could introduce that as a secondary thing. And I think that's not harmful to VGC at all.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It is. It is harmful in the way that a lot of VGC fans are looking at it. Because I don't think that it's going to be like, hey guys, because they don't do this with Go
VGC's
or with
shelved.
Unite or like they just present them as different verticals, right? And the main event is whatever has the most viewership. I think that they're going to be like, Gen 10, it's a new thing, right? And whatever they call it, I don't know what they call it. But at the time that is just, this is the Gen 10 battle system or whatever, right? And maybe that year, because there's historical value, there's like past year viewership and stuff like that, maybe the main event for that year is VGC in the way that we know it. but I could very easily see the next year be like the main event is now the new, like, whatever the new battle system is, that is VGC, in the sense that it's the main thing that we think about when we think of Pokemon video game championships.
Yeah,
because Unite is a Pokemon video game championship, but they don't call it VGC, you know, because it's Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
But I think whatever becomes the biggest Pokemon video game, you know, they're going to like name it whatever it needs to be named, and that's going to become the new main event.
Bro, you're right. The Pokemon Champions bracket.
Yeah.
They just like that way if you're competing in VGC, you're competing in the video game champions bracket.
Exactly.
But Gen 10 is VGC. So something I was thinking about, I kind of went down a rabbit hole just right now, and I'm thinking about like, okay, let's say Gen 10 comes out and it's some sort of hybrid, turn-based system. It's still pretty passive. It still, appeals to, existing Pokemon fans, right?
Right.
But it's this new battle system. And let's say it gets adopted. And then I was like, oh, but what if it doesn't do well? And then I was like, well, I guess they could always just in Gen 11, which sounds funny to say,
change it.
They could just, they could change it and be like, guess what? Turn-based battles are returning. They wouldn't say we screwed up, but they'd say we screwed up. And that would...
It's no different than the gimmicks that they do. Like,
that would be no different than them.
People didn't like Dynamax.
The quality of Scarlet and Violet for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
They did admit that the game didn't perform well.
I mean, the game performed.
It sold well. It sold well.
Yeah, it sold phenomenally.
Technically, it didn't technically perform well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My point is, Pokemon is so big; it can do whatever it wants.
It can literally do whatever it wants.
And I think there's like, again, I don't know too much about esports and stuff, but I do think, I think regular people. That's maybe where I want to ground this conversation.
Yes.
Right, regular Pokemon fans, right? People who buy a couple pack of cards here and there. People who play Pokemon Go. People who watch the anime with their children or something. People who appreciate Pokemon from afar and maybe have a Switch. I feel like those people don't look at the Pokemon games and are like,
excited.
They don't feel empowered. Yeah, they're not like looking at Pokemon games thinking this is cutting edge.